Alright, I'm just here to ask you a couple questions about how to run and start a business for our project. So my first question is, what difficulties did you run into starting your business?
Okay, starting a business can be a pretty daunting task.
Okay.
It requires a lot of commitment, and dedication to that idea of, your whole business concept. Now, in order to get a business going, you need funding, you need capital. You also need a support group.
Okay.
Because it's gonna require, long hours, of really, arduous task, getting that business off the ground. And if you don't have that support group, that's gonna be, giving you the full support in terms of, menial tasks, that you won't be able to handle on your own. You won't be able to, have that support. So again, getting, the business off the ground requires, a lot of funding, and, a lot of commitment,
Okay.
to that business.
Alright, my follow-up question is, like, what obstacles did you have when you started running your business?
Okay, one of the things that I found, getting that business, I'm off the ground and, I'm, maintaining that business is, to have, first to get a proper licensing, for that operation.
Right.
I'm finding the right location because, if the location is not right, I mean, you don't have the flow of traffic, coming into that business.
Right.
And, being it's a food retail, store, it was, you have to have the right location where you have a lot of traffic, so again, that was one of the problems I faced in getting people to come into my business. And I had to do a lot of marketing, and it cost a lot of money. So if I didn't have the right funding, I believe I would not be in business today. So getting the right funding again, it was one of the obstacles. Having the bank to believe in my business plan, so that they could support, my idea, having that business going.
All right. All right then. My last question is, what sparked your passion and wanted to start and then run a business, and then also what made you want to do food retail?
Uh, you know, both my parents, I watched them, have their own, operations. My dad drove a cab. My mom, she was a seamstress, so they never worked for anyone.
Okay.
And they've always instilled in me that, go to college, get a good education, and, work for a great company. But that drive of seeing that independence, that they had, not having to work for anyone, and the freedom it allows them, was always in the back of my mind. So it drove me, to want to have some sort of, independence, from, an established organization. So I, decided to, go into business. After accumulating, some financial status in terms of, funding. So I wanted to open up a Subway, restaurant, and I, did some research, got necessary information, and applied for the franchise. And I, was awarded a franchise.
Alright, that's cool. Alright, Dad, thank you. That was my final question, but my partner Faisal has some questions of his own to ask you, so I'll just let him take it from here.
Alright, that's fine. Sure.
Faisal?
Well, Faisal, hi. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too, Mr. Ellis. I have another question for you also. When you started your business, did you have many supporters, like friends, family?
Yeah, family was very, very supportive. I mean, without them, I wouldn't be able to, be in this position at this time. And of course, my friends, everyone was, behind me. All the family members, were really, supportive of, getting this off the ground because they see this as, a family business. And with my drive and passion, to get this off the ground. I mean, I, didn't have, any second thoughts, that they were gonna hold behind me.
All right, that's nice. And my next question is to you is when you started your business, how did you start? Like, how did you find out what you had to do?
Okay. I had gone to a couple of seminars, at different franchises, Subway seems to have posed the best opportunity for me, and I, contacted one of their, business managers, regional managers, to see the feasibility, getting a franchise, and of course, they provided me with all the details required in terms of funding requirements and all that stuff, and I proceeded to, complete an application. Of course, I did some research, internet research, to see, how profitable are these, Subway businesses, and what are the success rate of these franchises,
Yeah.
and they have a pretty good success rate, and again, once you're committed to doing something, you'll find ways, to really, drive that business forward, and I do have the passion, I do have the drive, and I'm driving that business.
All right.
So,
Thank you for answering these questions.
thank you. It's a pleasure.
No problem.